They look at you, confused for a moment, but then puff out their chest. You should probably go home. This place is dangerous. You follow their advice and make your way out of the castle. You decide never to leave home again for the rest of your life. What's up, guys? We're back today with Bad End Theater. And we were running through some stuff where we were getting to the castle, and we'd find out the demons are planning an uprising and trying to overthrow the Overlord, and then we would all end up being caught in a fire and dying. So I'm assuming to beat this game, I need to go through and find all of the bad endings to find a good ending, or at least end the game. So that's what we're going to start doing today. So we're going to start with the hero, and we're just going to try finding all of the hero's bad endings. Yes, we know you're going out on a journey, you're going to go find a maiden that's supposedly missing, blah, 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 blah. We will get to that. So to find this first bad ending that I know of, we need to slaughter all of the demons. And then when we get to the castle, we need to continue to slaughter more demons. And then the Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all of her soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance and convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden is here, then what happened to her? You can see only one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You've become stronger from the hordes of demons you've took down. Before this final battle, the Overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief. But your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no signs of the maiden within its walls. It's just as you suspected. She must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world. But what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. I don't think that's the ending I was trying to get, so let's try something else. I'm dumb. So I just played through trying to find this bad ending, but we already have that bad ending. So I need to find some of these, and it looks like I still need to unlock one of the Maiden's traits and one of the Overlord's traits to finish the hero. So I can't finish the hero today. So if I go over to the Maiden, it looks like there is a path where I need a different Maiden trait to get these endings. So maybe I'll have to go through this path to get Maiden traits. There's also another one over here that I haven't gotten to as well. So maybe we'll jump over to the Maiden and try finishing up some of her stuff. Alright, so we all know how the Maiden story begins. She decides to set out and figure out her destiny because she's supposed to be kidnapped by the demons because she is a fair maiden. So she decides to hurry up her fate and go find the demons on her own. When she then runs into one, she's going to introduce herself, and this demon's not going to be hungry, so he is going to agree to take her to see the demon Overlord. And once you get to the demon lord, you explain why you've come, and she squints at you. It turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out and something awful would happen. Then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You ask the Overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. This overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The overlord tells you again that you should get lost. How rude. You just got here. So we're going to refuse to leave. You put your foot down and tell her you're not going anywhere. You still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything hoary. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you. A little by little, you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commands her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send a hero out after them. You realize that must be why you never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You've always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. You may be different, but really, they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be a super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with the Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. Oh, this is the first time that we find out the Maiden has a crush on the Overlord. But then a hero barges into the room. His clothes are stained by a dark liquid. It's dripping from his weapon too. You realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. The hero suddenly dashes towards the Overlord, sword drawn. Oh, so we can protect her. You know what? I think I need both endings for this arc, so we're gonna do nothing and see what happens. The hero's blade pierces the Overlord, and she lets out a horrible scream. You flinch. The Overlord is slain. The hero smiles and holds out his hand to you, saying it's time to go home. His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitant, you take his hand. The hero guides you through the castle, past the corpses of his enemies. You try to keep your eyes at your feet. There's blood everywhere. You shut your eyes, but even then, you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle, and the hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumphance over the demons. You feel sick, but you take part in the festivities regardless. Complacent Maiden end. Alright, so let's get back to when the hero enters. But then a hero barges into the room. His clothes are stained by a dark liquid. It's dripping from his weapon too. You realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. The hero suddenly dashes towards the Overlord, sword drawn. We're going to protect her this time. You selflessly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny, you think you never could have imagined this would be the way that you die. The roles are all switched around, but it feels right to you somehow. You are glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. As your vision fades, you hope that everything turns out all right for your new friend. Sacrificial Maiden End. So let's see if we can maybe get another ending out of that, if we don't have it to where the hero slays all of the demons. So we're going to set out on our journey again. We're going to introduce ourselves and go see the Overlord. The Overlord's not going to be antisocial now. So we meet the Overlord. We have our nice little conversation with her. She doesn't tell us to leave. She then tells us that the whole story of why she doesn't like sending her people after humans. So you realize that must be why you've never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by heroes. You've always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same thing of humans. You may be different, but really, you're just trying to live You may be different, but really, they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with the Overlord has been very nice. You can feel butterflies in your stomach. As you think that, a hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first, until you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks you what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. But the Overlord objects to the hero's suggestion. You tell her you plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. You feel nervous. The hero puts on a brave face for you. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all. If you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You leave me no choice. The Overlord suddenly jumps the hero. She tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in her throat. You watch because you can't look away. Had she really been lying to you all along? You wonder, is there punishment for questioning the divine plan? The Overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny after all. But the Overlord stops, or rather someone has stopped her. Whatever held back your scream before doesn't stop you this time. The Overlord is being ripped to shreds by one of her demon underlings. You think you recognize them, but it's hard to tell with all that blood. Everyone's stopped moving now. The room is silent, save for the underlings' heavy breathing. You thank them for what they've done, even though it was awful. You feel you've been rescued from a terrible fate. They look at you, confused for a moment, but then puff out their chest. You should probably go home. This place is dangerous. You follow their advice and make your way out of the castle. You decide never to leave home again for the rest of your life. Escaped Maiden ending B. Okay. So it does say that there is another ending part of that. I think it's if you don't have any traits set up for the underlings, so we're gonna quick get back to that. The Overlord suddenly jumps the hero. She tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Had she really been lying to you all along? You wonder, is this your punishment for questioning the divine plan? The Overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny. After all, she vows to keep you very safe from now on. You're afraid to find out what that means, but there's no one left to save you. You belong to the Overlord now. Captured Maiden End A. And with that, we've gotten all of the Maiden endings except for this very final one that has to do with an Overlord trait that we haven't gotten yet. So I think that means we can finally go back and we can get this ending that I wanted to get with the hero. So let's quick run through that one before we call it a day. Alright, so to get this ending, we set out on our adventure to go save the maiden. We are going to flee like a coward. Then once we get to the castle, we're going to nicely ask if they'll let you in, which they're going to. And they escort you directly to the Overlord's chamber. That was easy. The Overlord and Maiden seem to be in the middle of some casual conversation when you barge in. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. We are going to destroy the Overlord. You lunge forward to put an end to this evil Overlord. The only issue is we didn't realize that the Maiden has the martyr trait. But your blade pierces the Maiden instead. She had sacrificed herself to protect this demon. It takes you a moment to recover from the shock. The Overlord wails, "Why did you do that?" You're not sure if the question is directed at you. The Overlord strikes at you in a vengeful rage. You parry and she is slain. Your sword feels heavy. You look at your hands, your clothes. Blood. So much blood. You look to the fallen maiden, wondering what to tell the townspeople. Why would she protect the Overlord? She must have been brainwashed by the demonic magic. You pick up the Overlord's head, wrapping it in your cape, and begin your long journey back to town. You will say that you were too late, that nothing could be done for the girl, but the Overlord is slain. There will be a celebration. Loyal hero end. And with that, we also have all of the endings for the hero, except for the one with the Overlord's trait that I don't have. So that means next time we're going to come back and we will find a couple of these last endings in the underlings ending little path. And then we will jump over to the Overlord and try finishing up the Overlord as well. How did I find this ending without having that trait unlocked? What? That makes no sense. Okay, but we'll come back to it next time. That's going to be it today for Bad End Theater. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like on it. If you're not a subscriber and you like watching my stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below this video and ring that bell icon while you're down there so you know when I upload more videos like this. But until next time, guys, bye. I love yous.